Hello, we're at beautiful Reedley College and we're taking our dog for a run. Let's go, Kip.
Okay. Got him?
No, I don't. I have to see. Okay. Is there a way we can flip this around? No. We just need to swap the thing around so we can shoot the dog.
I can't see it.
Oh, it's this one right there. Okay, so let's get rid of that stuff. All right, here we go. Can't see anything. Ah, here we go. We'll go this way.
Look at him go.
I'm gonna get in bed of this truck. See, truck. Can you hold this for a sec? Thank you. There we go.
Kip, come back. Thought he heard it.
So this is Reedley College. We are in the grass right in front of the cafeteria. If you look over here to our right, that's the business education wing. And you have humanities behind that and science behind that. Over here is the gymnasium. Then you got the locker rooms over there and tennis courts and other things are further back that way. That building right between the gymnasium and the cafeteria, I believe, is the biological science building. At least I took a lot of biology in that class over there.
They even have a koi pond over
They
there.
have a koi pond over there, yeah. This is what this dog likes to do every Sunday.
Well, he likes to do it every day, but he only gets to.
Well, yeah, because his parents are busy. We don't have children. We just have a furry little human being. You tired or something, Kip?
Resting.
So Reedley College recently celebrated its 75 years. Used to be over on the campus of the high school, which is across the street. My dad was attending high school when the college was over there, and he said that the kids would get out of class and the college kids would go across this line and they'd go smoke, and then all those other kids who wanted to smoke with those, would stand on the other side of the line. They'd sit there and they'd breathe in real deeply.
Ready to chase it? Can we throw it?
Now, if you know anything about Reedley, The college campus is actually part of the old T.L. Reed Ranch. And in a little bit, I'll show you some leftovers from that ranch. Um, they're very classic Californian, you know. So if you don't know who T.L. Reed is, T.L. Reed is where Reedley got our name from. But he didn't want the town named Reed. So the railroad, when the mail was coming through, well, it was either the mail or the railroad. It's one or the other. They decided to add a couple extra letters to the end of Reed, and we got Reedley. T.L. Reed was a wheat man. He had the largest wheat fields this side of the Mississippi. Um, it was all that winter wheat. You know, we didn't have a lot of irrigation out here at that time, and so wheat is fairly easy to grow, especially if you use winter wheat, because it's all dependent on your winter rainstorms. California has been getting a lot of rain this year. This is 2019. This is a beautiful day, but we've just come out of a series of some storms that have made the Sierras be about 125% at snowpack. And just because we're at 125% of snowpack doesn't mean that our drought out here in California is over. I mean, a lot of people think that, oh, yeah, you got snow up there. And yeah, that's great and all. But California also has these really deep aquifers. And when we're using water faster than those aquifers can fill up, that's a crisis. And so hopefully, the snow in the Sierras will help, you know, but there's some other things that we could be doing to help conserve water, not just at the tap at home, you know. A lot of people say that we need to put in all these dams, and the dams, they hurt our ecosystems that are very, very fragile. But if we went and say we repaired our meadows up there in the Sierras, those are just sponges, you know? And if you have them functioning correctly, they suck up all that water and they hold it and they release it slowly. That's one thing that we could be doing, the meadow reclamation and restorations, things like that. But right now, there's a lot of river water in the river because Pine Flat is kind of like a foot from being full. Yeah, and here's Sean. He's from Utah.
There's the dog getting a drink of water.
I can't show the dog. Well, yeah, I can. I'll show the dog like this. So yeah, I can't see anything. I have my sunglasses on. I don't know if anybody's even watching this, but that's okay because we're trying something new. And how we're trying something new is by showing off my favorite little furry person in the world, Kipling. That's his name, Kipling. Yeah, he was named for Rudyard Kipling. I was gonna when I got him, I was thinking about calling him Iago. The main protagonist in Shakespeare's Othello.
Protagonist or antagonist?
Antagonist. Thank you. That's why I looked at you when I said it. um, yeah, I thought Yago's a wonderful name, and it's just fun to say Yago, Yago. And little did my father know I would be naming him after my father. My dad's name is James, and you know, Yago is short of Santiago, which is James. So
Or Saint James.
or Saint James. But so I took one look at him when we went to go pick him up at the breeder, and I said, "That's a Kipling. That's a Kipling. That's not a Yago." And so Kipling it was. He's one of the best dogs I've ever had. I had a really good dog when I came back from Colorado. This is back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Actually, it was in the early 2000s. His name was Mikey. He was Blue Merle. He was an awesome dog. He was a rescue. Um, and I got Kipling because I was going through a midlife crisis. And my husband said, "Well, how can I fix this for you?" I said, "I want a dog that loves me." He said, "Okay, find one." And so we found Kipling. I was actually looking for a full size Aussie, not a mini, but he's perfect size. And then I have friends who call him the fun size Aussie, which he is. He's a perfect little dog, perfect companion. Doesn't like other people. He's shy. You know, he prefers women over men, except for his dad. He loves his dad. But yeah, he's shy, so it's best to just ignore him when you meet him. He might bring you his toy, and if he does that, he expects you to throw it. And so, you know, if he warms up to you, he'll start bringing you his toy, but don't pet him. Don't force the pet on him. He doesn't like that. And you know, you people out there, you got to realize when the owner says ignore him or don't pet him, you really need to listen to those words, because the owner's trying to put the dog or keep the dog in a situation where the dog is comfortable. And just like a human, you know, you don't go up and hug on a human, you know, because there's a human right there. You know, you typically get to know that person first before you go and do that, right? Well, it's the same way with dogs, same with cats, same way with parrots and rats and horses and goats and llamas.
Nobody goes to pet a llama.
I'll pet a
Nobody.
llama as long as his ears aren't back and he doesn't have that look on his face. Yeah, if a llama has his ears back and has a disgruntled look on his face, don't get near him. You'll get spat at. So yeah, this is just some random nonsense in the dog playing or not playing with his toy. Come on, let's go. Let's go, Kip.
You did great. You did great. Come on.
Oh, and for you out there, happy St. Patrick's Day from Reedley, California. Some of my friends are in Japan. Hope they're having a great visit. Some of my friends might be going to church right now. I hope you get your souls fed. Our church starts at 9 o'clock, so we get out pretty early, and it's just a beautiful day here. Over there, that's McDonald's. That's a CVS pharmacy parking lot with a whole bunch of strip mall stuff over there. Reedley doesn't
Come
have
back.
much. We had our chance for Walmart, but we messed up. We had our chance for Target, but we won't have a paid fire department. So yeah, we messed up. I don't know what else to say about that. So you'd think a college town would have stuff like that, but Reedley wants to be a bedroom community for Fresno. So typically, if we're looking to buy stuff, sad thing about it is we have to go out of town to go to Walmart. Got to go out of town to Best Buy. Got to go out of town to get, you know, clothing sometimes. I'm not saying that we don't have stuff like that here, but it depends on, you know, your style. Right now I have like a grungy Walmart style.
That works.
And then we got these people, they're walking the campus, they're getting their exercise in today. Sometimes if you are a Pokemon Go player, there's several places here on campus. We got a couple gyms, we got a couple Pokestops. And if I wasn't doing this right now, I probably would be catching some Pokemon. You know, they're all over campus. This is a really good place to do your Pokemon Go game. Yep. Where's that dog at? Oh, there's that dog.
getting him wore out.
Yeah, he's been cooped up for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I think so, 2 or 3.
Well, it's been so wet out here, you know. Yeah, Sean got in trouble, what, 2 days ago?
I did.
Well, we gave the dog a bath when?
Oh, yeah.
And then you took the dog out to go mow the lawn.
Yeah, he was green.
The
He
dog
ready
was
for some
quite
epic
green.
fail.
All of his white parts were green. And he had just had a bath like 2 days before, and I was just like, oh, I couldn't stand it. It was it was a pain. It was like, no, he's grassy. He's no longer white where the white is supposed to be. He's green. He's messy. He has to have a bath. And Sean was like, but I need to take a shower. He's like, the dog has to have a bath. It's like, give him a bath and then take your shower. It's like, well, it was a big old fiasco. But he understood where I was coming from. We hardly fight unless, typically we end up laughing at each other.
Fights are stupid funny.
Yeah, it gets to the point where when I chew him out, I was like, did you do this? And he'll say yes. It's like, I don't like that, right? He's like, no, I didn't know that. Okay, well, you've been chewed out. We're done. Well, we've been married 14 years in April. April 16th. We'll be married 14 years this year. And then next year is the big 1-5.
Yeah, we're just about used to each other now.
Yeah, just about. Not bad for two people who met online in a chat room back in the day when they had chat rooms for stuff. Well, wait, now hang on. Don't go there, guys. Get your minds out of the gutter. It wasn't anything like that. No, we belong to a group called Writer's World, where there's poetry about Anne Rice's vampires.
Oh my God, story after story about teen vampire angsty stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, so you'd have all these angry teenagers go in there.
I want to be a vampire. I'm gonna write a story about it.
Okay. Vampires are for the fantasy realm.
The same kids who won't eat a steak that's medium rare. It's got to be well done.
Right.
I want to be a vampire. Go figure.
Yeah, Sean had a good time ragging on those people like that.
I would always critique their stories. I'd be nice about it. But then privately, it's a different story.
So let's see here. Let's talk about Reedley. Reedley is a little farming community. You know how we got our name? We're about 30 miles or so southeast of Fresno, about another 35 or 30 miles or so northwest of Visalia. We are not very far from Grant Grove, which is up 180, about an hour away. We're about 2.5 hours from the coast. We're Central Valley. It gets really hot here in the summertime. We can have days that are like 110. Hopefully, we won't have very many days that are 110 this year. But our winter temperatures, they can dip a little bit below freezing. And we've had snow here, but this is not really an area that gets a lot of snow. It's kind of like it's like, oh wow, we have snow. How'd that happen? Because what happens is when we have a lot of precipitation, because we're in the valley, the precipitation comes in, the blanket comes in of clouds, and they trap the heat between the clouds and the Earth's surface. So it's like having a blanket on. It doesn't get that cold. And so typically, I think hail is more possible than snow is out here. And we still have farmers out here that think those propane hail cannons are the way to go when we have crazy weather like that. So I remember the first year they started setting those hail cannons off. I thought Godzilla was on the outskirts of town stomping around. What'd you think the first time you heard those things?
Well, I was already familiar with the avalanche cannon, so it didn't. I might have thought it was distant thunder. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so how these hail cannons work, they basically set up this atmospheric charge up into where they think that the hail cell is, and it's to disrupt that hail cell. So um, you knock that thing away, and it doesn't form the hail, which damages the crops. And like right now, if we had really cold weather and we had rain, the possibility of having hail is greatly increased, and all of our trees are in bloom. So yeah, the hail would knock off the blooms and damage the blooms, and then the fruit wouldn't be able to form, and it would really hurt the harvest. Like I said, we're an agriculture community. We have grapes, we have peaches, oranges, lemons, nectarines, plums, pluots, you name it, we pretty much got it. Almonds, yeah.
What is a pluot?
A pluot is a cross between a plum and an apricot. Pluot.
I wouldn't eat that.
They're better than apricots.
Well, that's saying a lot, actually.
Of course, and then again, though, it depends. I mean, people out there who love apricots are like, oh my gosh, don't be dogging on the apricots. Well, I don't really like apricots, I'm sorry. But we have peaches and nectarines. We got a lot of nuts. We have walnuts. Like I said, you name it, we pretty much have it out here. We're
No
one
wheat,
of,
though. We don't have wheat.
well, we don't have wheat anymore. We used to have wheat, yeah. But we grow cotton,
Yeah.
we grow corn. Probably not as much as like Iowa or Nebraska, but we have it. We grow alfalfa. We have a lot of feeds that we can grow.
Tomatoes,
Tomatoes, peanuts,
strawberries.
strawberries. Oh yes, strawberries. We have some of the best strawberries come from California. It's just too bad that we don't have that year round season that some people do. And Japan, their strawberry season is still going strong. They grow the majority of their strawberries for Christmas time. But they don't their strawberry shortcake is nothing like our strawberry shortcake. I keep on thinking I need to send them some of my friends some stuff so they can make American strawberry shortcake, and then they can have their American strawberry shortcake, and then they can have their Japanese strawberry shortcake, and they can show the difference. Because American strawberry shortcake, traditional strawberry shortcake in America, is much different than that. Yes, you have whipped cream, but the whipped cream does not make the whole thing. Hmm. So I guess my dog is tired.
I don't think he's ready to go home, but he's spending
Oh,
a lot of time resting.
yeah.
He's still running pretty hard, though.
He's not bad for how old is he? Going on 6? Gonna be 6 in May? Yeah. He's not interested in doing this anymore when he starts trotting slowly back. That was not a trot slow back. A dog trot. All right. So, what kind of people do we have here in Reedley? Um, we have a good percentage of Mexican American. You know, we were in California. California was a part of Mexico before it became, well, before it was stolen and then brought on to the United States. Um, there's a really huge, beautiful history of of early native peoples coming up into California and trading with the local tribes here. And not just here in California, they would go all the way up to Washington on the West Coast, and they'd actually make it all the way up to like Maine and places like that on the East Coast and some parts of Canada. They had this wonderful trade route, and I believe it was with the Aztec. And they'd send these pachecas out to trade with people, and they would trade for obsidian. They would trade turquoise for obsidian. They would trade for seashells and all sorts of things. And you know, if it hadn't been for those people in Mexico, um, we would have never gotten the squash or the corn or the beans. You know, that's where all that stuff developed from. And you know, people wouldn't be able to establish agriculture in those early times. But yeah, so California was a part of Mexico back in the day, and you know, it is what it is. You know, it's a beautiful, rich cultural state, and to deny that is kind of insulting. Um, but then you know we have a good percentage of white people here, and then we have a bunch of Japanese. We had a lot of Korean at one time. We have Filipino. We have we have Indians um,
From India.
from India, both Sikh and Punjab, um, and we have Chinese. You know, we're just a nice multicultural community.
Some Iranians.
We have some Iranians, yeah. We have people from Armenia. There's a lot of Armenians here, and you know, each one of these little cultures has made Reedley something special. I think our food likes. There's a lot of Germans here, so the Germans, they brought their Burek and they brought their bratwurst and things like that. And you know, if you've never had a Burek before, you can look them up on YouTube, get a recipe, and make some of that stuff. They call them something else, but we know them as Burek. And they're this like an envelope of bread dough, and inside is cabbage and salt and pepper and ground beef and onion. It's very good. It's you know, kind of like a working man's type of meal, because you could wrap it up and throw it in your lunchbox and take it with you to work. Um, the traditional Buraks here in town, I think you can get them at Main Street Cafe. But if you go down to Donuts to Go, which back in the day I think was owned by some Chinese people, they kind of have their own take on it. It's kind of like it reminds me of a baked bun, like a Chinese bun, and it's filled with Burek filling. It's you know, it's tasty. It's you know, reminds me of home. Of my childhood. It's not exactly what I had when I was a kid, but you'd find that more like at Main Street Cafe. Um, we had we have a pretty good Armenian food restaurant, Uncle Harry's. We have an outstanding Japanese restaurant, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Sensei. Did I say it right? Sensei,
Sensei.
Sansei. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's an A, not an E.
Mm.
Um, they um, they are the happening place in town right off the bat. and they do a really good job of presenting the Japanese food in in a way to people who've never been to Japan and maybe never had those flavors before. They it's just awesome. Um, when you look at places like Yelp, at least when I used to look at Yelp for places to go have Japanese food, Sensei was one of the first ones to pop up. Then one time it popped up before Yoshino's. Was it Yoshino's?
Yeah,
Yeah, Yoshino's in Fresno. Yoshino's was supposed to be the place, but Sensei is better. Anyway,
and saves us a lot of gas money when we go to Sensei instead of Yoshino's.
that's true.
And the atmosphere at Sensei is better too.
Yeah.
Yoshino's was kind of stuffy, and some of the decor was stuck in the 70s.
Yeah.
But they did have those open grill things. I don't know what that's called.
Oh, teppanyaki.
Yeah, teppanyaki.
Yeah, we don't have teppanyaki at Sunset. So what else? We have a variety of Mexican restaurants. Some of our favorites are the little taquerias. So Reedley kind of passed an ordinance, or it might have been a Fresno County ordinance, that kind of pushed our taco trucks out of town. And it was you're ringing. It was really sad because there was actually a lot of good food in those taco trucks. So this one family, they decided that, well, we were really successful as a taco truck. Maybe we should try a restaurant. And so they did, and they are just putting forth some of the best Mexican food. It's a little bit different. Maybe in the future when Sean and I aren't on plan, we'll do a rundown of the tacos in Reedley, because I this is how I judge Mexican food. If you can't get a taco right, then why am I bothering? And it's a certain way, but tacos are different depending on what region of Mexico you come from, or if you're a Californian. Um, yeah, so because we could go over to my favorite place, Rosalinda's in Selma, and have tacos there. Oh, I love their Selma taco. It's just, and it screams California, but it's Mexican, but it's Californian. I think she calls it Alta California food cuisine.
No, Alta
No,
Mexicana.
Alta Mexicana. Yeah, yeah. Which, yeah,
Actually, I pronounced that wrong. I think it's Alta yeah.
Alta Mexicana.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna shut this down. Well, we're gonna have the dog run 2 more times, and then we'll let her go.
Two more, buddy.
All right, here we go. Go, Kippy, go! And yeah, this is what we do on Sunday.
I actually think it's Alta Comida Mexicana.
Ah,
Something like that. High Mexican food. Oh yeah, he's slow.
he's slowing down.
Come on, one more.
So yeah, the tacos are they lightly fry the tacos, the taco shells. It's not really hard, and I kind of grew up with that kind of shell, where you lightly fry it, and then it's filled with asada, lettuce, tomato, queso, and guacamole. And oh my gosh, you guys, men, listen to me. If you need a superfood that is so tasty, you just need to build up your manness, avocados are the way to go. All right, so Sean, you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I think you've said it all.
All right. So this is Amanda, signing off. I hope you guys have a great Sunday and a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Bye. Do you know how to shut this off? You gotta look in the shade first. Okay.
I can't see a thing.
Can't see a thing either. There's that.
There's a button that says share. That's all I can see on it.
So now people on Facebook are gonna be like, "Oh, they're live streaming." I don't know how to shut this down.
Have a look.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Hey, bud. Did you have a good run? Go get a drink.
There's the X.
Okay, well then use the X. Does that shut it down?